God love him. You had a question?
Can I just make some noise about the Microsoft's Visio application needs some kind of replacement? I was just reading that last night. That seems to be a big sore for people that are trying to. And I know there's Dia and there's one other KDE side, but it's not quite.
I don't do a lot of that kind of work, but I've used Dia or Dia. Which is it, Dia or Dia? Anybody know? Dia. I've used Dia before. I kind of enjoy some nice crunchy glass more than having to do a large project. No offense, but it's not a modern application. It's not simple to use. Accessibility, I want to talk about this for a minute. Henry Rollins Band, used to be the front man for Black Flag. Love this guy. A very intense, hardest working man in show business, etc. However, Rollins Band, if you've heard them before, not what you would call accessible to most people, okay? This guy isn't going to take anybody into the mainstream. And I'm talking about two things on Linux. When I talk about accessibility, I'm talking about two things. One is usability. Now, there are some folks doing some great work on usability, and obviously Linux has made amazing strides in its UI and its user interface, and the ability to do things in Linux has increased dramatically since 10 years ago. However, it has not kept up with other platforms. And so this is something that developers need to keep in mind. Good enough for Linus as an end user application, God love him, probably isn't good enough for my mom. And we need to get to the stage where it's good enough for my mom. Accessibility. We have a guy on the OpenSUSE board who is visually and hearing impaired. And I don't think about that sort of thing much. I mean, I'm somewhat visually impaired, but once I put these on, I can see my computer okay. Without these, I'm hosed, but as long as I'm wearing these, I can use the computer okay. The same cannot be said for a lot of other people. Like I said, he's both visually and hearing impaired, and he keeps us honest. He's always telling me about where, this isn't terribly accessible, that isn't terribly accessible, this, everything from the way an application works to a website having bad graphics or something like that.